So an epic day here today with the Hot Tire podcast. I'm with Dennis, Melvin, Jan-Erik. It's my first time on track here in Germany. Believe it or not, after all these years of drifting, it took me probably, I think, 15 years to make it down here. Fantastic drivers, all three of them. We have done something truly special. We've shot a promo for Gatebil. So being Scandinavian, I grew up with the concept, and now we're taking it to Germany. We know that the drift culture in Germany and in Holland is thriving, doing really well, thanks to drivers like these dudes and their teams. And next year, we're going all in for Gatebil here at Meppen circuit. I need to bounce. I am taking off for Formula Drift this weekend, and I applaud my new friends. I had a lot of fun at Aasbø with this one, both day and night, and I had a lot of fun with these dudes drifting today. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you next time.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck sometime.
Thank you. Thank you.
Got to be here next year at Gatebil.
See you then.
See you then.
All right, drive safe.
Okay, welcome to the Hot Tire. So we are in Meppen, racetrack. We have driving on the dry today. So sadly, Tim is not making it today, but we have Jan-Erik here with us. Melvin's also there. I'm Dennis. And so, let's go.
Let's jump into it.
Let's jump in. Fredric had sadly no time for us. He was on a very short time schedule. So he left us a nice notice, and we tried to call him for the next episode.
Yeah, but for the short amount of time he had, we really made the most of it.
Yeah, of course.
We all had a blast here today.
Yeah. I was just asking you what do you think when we went with him off the track and
driving
like he's sending it, right?
Yeah, Fredric is like, yeah, I'm going slow on you, so I keep it easy, and you like 600 horsepower all in and try to like gain some ground near him, and you're not even getting close to him. That's crazy. But sharing the track with Aasbø is on another level.
Yeah.
So when we started like drifting 3 years ago, did you imagine that we drive with Aasbø on a dry track?
No way.
And like not any people here?
Especially for like a kind of private event, like for doing some promo. That was as you say, like if we had imagined that 2 years ago, no way, no chance.
So if someone came to me and said, you will drive with Aasbø someday in like 3 years, I'm like, man, I can't get the transition right.
Yeah. If you imagine just like way back, crazy. But Jan, unfortunately you have not been driving with us today.
I couldn't drive here today, but you know, we had Aasbø just last weekend, and Freddie and I had the honor of doing a demo together, and that was really fun. I think we hit it off real nice, you know, from the get-go. We couldn't talk before driving, and that's always funny, but in the end it worked out. So there was nice chemistry there, and you really see that this guy is a real pro.
But that's like the best footage. If you don't really talk about it, just do it.
Yeah, I guess.
So like when Marco's like doing his finger thing like this, go this, there, and go. And so like, okay, let's deliver.
Yeah. Speaking of going, since Tim is not here, let's get his cold tire.
Yeah, we have a cold tire for Tim.
Out of the way.
Out of the way. Bye, Tim.
As a suggestion, so I'm not here with my car today, or it's still a car of ours, but a track tool, not a drift car. I suggest the first time we have all the drift cars together, let's all do a burnout.
Of course.
Unmount the tire.
And sit on it.
And measure the temperature.
And see who's the hottest.
And who gets up first loses.
Okay.
And that's the new intro to
that's the deal. That's the deal.
That's a good idea. That's like a pretty nice idea.
But I'm very slow with like the wrenching and so on.
Well, okay.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, so
like in summer when it's really burning hard, like that.
Yeah.
So you're leading the championship right now?
The AVD Drift Championship. basically the German championship at the moment. Yeah.
So
one round remaining, and we're looking good.
If I got it right in my mind, you like have 54 points at the moment.
Honestly, you might know more about it than me, because we just got home from the event.
Yeah.
Yesterday night or this night, depending on how you want to name it, and then we slept for 2 hours and hammered up here.
Yeah.
To grab the Meppen event. So yeah, not so much sleep, not so much.
So how do you feel going to the last event?
Oh well, I mean, the goal is to win every single one of them.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm chill, we're chill, just trying to win again.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
At the end of the day, it's always better to lead the championship than to have to catch up. So I don't know what's with. Yeah, of course, it's some kind of pressure, but in the end of the day, I think what we're able to do, we're very fortunate and very privileged. And as long as you see it from that point of view, you're just having fun and try to achieve the most you can out of each weekend. So sometimes maybe good.
I mean, you have been
not
participating 2 events now.
Yeah.
You were doing pretty good.
Yeah.
How do you see at the current situation how the drift championship is? What is important? Like, what stage do you have your car? Like, what is important for it? Because as I saw, like Dennis is now driving the semi-slicks on the back. I was like, of course, because of my brake horsepower, driving normal street tires. I wasn't catching really up. So you would suggest like going up in power and like getting some grippy tires, or what would you like say to be really competitive?
At the end of the day, when we're talking about power and grip, it depends on the track itself as well, because for the really short and small tracks, you don't need all that much power, because you can grip the maximum allowed tire up and not need that in comparison to the larger tracks. So yeah, really first of all depends on the track. Of course, the more power you run, the easier it is to get the maximum amount of mechanical grip drivable. But yeah, at the end of the day, when you compete at the top of a championship, you always want to use the largest and grippiest tire available. In an ideal world, but we do not live in an ideal world.
And so.
On the other hand, when you're just learning, and you immediately go to the super hooked setups, you're also not doing yourself a favor. Yeah.
I saw that, like, because when was it? I'm not sure if it was this year first event Nürburgring Drift Cup or last year. Anyways, because I was driving, I guess it was like full hard, the suspension. And I was like just like keeping it a little bit looser, so because I could manage better to just flick the whole way, and they were like more going to grip up the car. And
but I also think there is like the right amount of stiffness. If you just go to the events and just put them all on loose, soft, genau. And that's not the way to go, because when I go here in the dry, the corner is a bit curved and it's a bit bumpy, and if it's too loose, it just like and it throws you off. So if you stiffen it the back, it's better. In my opinion,
there is no universal setup for all the tracks out there, and that's why I think, especially at your guys' stage, you have to experiment a lot. And apart from the information you can get from guys with more experience, or from information on the internet or out of books or whatever, you really just also have to try it yourself and learn. Okay, if I do that, this happens. And I think very important when you're working and experimenting on setups like this is to only change one thing at a time. Yeah. Don't go, okay, I want my car to do this. What do I have to change so it does that? And then change 4 things. In the end, you don't know what of these things made how much difference. And in the future, when you need to do it more precisely, you don't know where to start.
So that was what we was doing, is like play with the Ackerman setting.
Yeah.
So like Weisfab is coming normal with like parallel Ackerman,
zero
Ackerman. and now we tried like the biggest and the middle. And for me, it's a bit more predictable if you go like more Ackerman.
Okay.
But Melvin is more like, I like the zero Ackerman. He's also
I
more.
was really used to it, so
Yeah.
that was like also because
So
I was driving it for quite some time and then
yeah,
just switching it up.
but
it
you
was,
won like a Nürburgring Drift Cup on zero Ackerman.
Yeah, that's true.
And
But,
also like with Caster, he likes more Caster than me because he likes to have the car more snappier.
Although Tim is like the
Yeah,
snappiest cars of all.
Tim is another level of Caster, man. He just wants to let go the wheel and the car like instantly switch directions.
Yep.
So not even possibly catch it,
Yeah.
but that's like Tim like it. So I'm like more, I would like to do the transition myself with a good amount of self-steer.
I mean, there's so many different setups.
Yeah, but you have to
suspension
test.
setups and everything, and we need to test more. I guess that's like really important.
But it's also like hard to really get good testing in. We can like test here in Meppen, like once a month, and that's pretty cool. But it's also on the wet, so you can't like.
Feel the car.
I mean, it was on the dry today.
Yeah, it was on the dry today, but we
jealous.
concentrated on driving
Yeah.
more than like testing setups.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the track force all.
Okay, so
Because-
if you concentrated on driving, what did you learn today?
That there is a big skill gap between me and like Fredric Aasbø as a pro driver. So I have to push more. Even more than now.
Okay.
And also like the calmness he have, you see like in his driving.
Yeah.
Because he not really. So yeah, I do the flick, I go wide, it's like this, like that, just be there, all good. And you like, okay, I do it. And then you try to be on his door.
As
He-
we have
he's-
been speaking, let's go slowly into
Yeah,
it
then
and
let's
then
go.
adjust during the corner. And
so he's just flicking into the corner, and you think like, man, that was a nice flick. And he was like drinking soft drink, flicking into the corner. That's another level of driving.
Yeah, that's the point you have to get to. I mean, the more that you have to actively think about your driving or the technique you want to use or are about to do or need, the more brain space it will take up,
Yeah,
and the more everything else will be neglected, and it can go up to the point where even the thing you're concentrating on doesn't work because you're over fixated.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, before more power and grippier tires and everything, you need to work on some base techniques to really ingrain those and get them automated.
Yeah.
More or less, so you can focus again on the important stuff. And the more all that functions automatically and the less bad habits you build with it, the more relaxed you're gonna be in the car eventually.
totally agree.
And yeah, that this kind of being relaxed is what then makes you able to adapt more, to chase closer, all of that.
But many people think if you run more horsepower, the car getting easier to drive. But normally, in my opinion, when I have more horsepower, I try like to balance the grip with the horsepower. So if I have more horsepower, I have also more grip, and it's getting like harder to drive.
Yeah, it's a give and take for sure. With the same amount of grip, more horsepower, assuming you keep similar drivability, definitely helps. Like it helps you mask mistakes. That's why it's also not a good idea to start with a lot of horsepower or go to too much horsepower early.
Yeah.
Because you're just gonna induce bad habits.
So
On the other hand, yes, the more if you raise horsepower exponentially with grip up and up and up, your car is gonna be much more unforgiving
yeah.
when you do mistakes or go off throttle.
So I
point where you
felt
shouldn't.
that at Meet the Ring.
Hmm.
So when I had like a semi-slick of a tire brand, and like did a whole training session 1 hour with like one set of tires, and that's not going down, but you don't have really any grip. So I decided for the qualification, I go like to the extreme tire with the soft compound and just throw air in there because I don't know the compound, I don't know how the car reacts. So you told me it's really snapbacks on you. So you have to stay committed, and that's what I feel. But after the first run, I feel way more confident with the car.
Yeah, because the semi-slick is way more predictable.
Yeah,
but
at the
that's
end of the
also
day.
something I learned today, because I was like first time running 2 different semi-slicks on the back, and I was just seeing how the first one was
different.
like keeping its grip like
Yeah.
more or less, and the other one was like after 2 or 3 rounds like already it was sliding way.
So that's also the problem you had on the PS days, like running street tires.
Yeah.
So they are good for like long. If
What do you
it's
mean?
take long to burn down.
They are
Longevity.
like hard. They're like
Long tire life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tire
but
life.
that's true as long as they don't break off.
Yeah,
parts
but
of the
he
fat
has
and
a
stuff.
problem. At some point, the tire was so hot that it's not making any grip.
Yeah.
So there is like a tire left, enough tire left, but the tire's not working anymore.
Yeah, they were like just.
But
Too hot.
on the semis, you burn it in a burnout box, and you have like constant grip until like the trap.
But that's like, as I said, like the ones I was like running in the end. Now that was like not the case. Like you really in the beginning it was good. You could like really throw it in, but after some turns or some rounds, it was like really getting slippery and you were, like just like getting to the outside without wanting it.
Which tires were you running today?
So first
The ones
I
we're sitting on?
No.
no, that's
okay.
not like his
Never mind
tires.
then.
I was first running the Accelera. How is it called? The exact model I don't know. And then
591 Sports or so.
The accelerators, anyways.
yeah, and then afterwards the Candas.
Okay. Sweet. So that was your first semi-slick experience, more or less.
Yeah, it was like, last time Hanover was the first experience. I was trying it back then because I was saying like second gear, you will get them for short turning. Now here it was quite interesting because here you can also pull the third gear. Okay, fourth gear I was not thinking to put that one. But with the third gear it also worked quite good. That was also the case why I was choosing like those 2 brands and not immediately going to the super grippy tire. Because I was just thinking like with the 400 horsepower it's getting tight on
so you are very limited on power now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, that's like for me the next
it's like now you have like this power, but you try to run this grip.
Yeah, or at least try to be competitive at that level.
Yeah.
Don't forget to insert, no offense, but don't forget to insert the question of skill set in there. So what was your issue then when you say you don't have enough power for your grip? How did that translate? Did you get a lot of understeer, or did the car die down a lot on you, or what happened?
So far I didn't have the case where I was like not able to turn them.
Okay.
As I said, like first time in Hanover, that was like 1 set of tires, so it was about 8 rounds, something like that. I don't remember. So basically today it was like really trying them to get more comfortable on how the grip is changing, how the tires are getting used. I mean, also the first set of tires I was keeping them for quite some rounds. I was quite astonished, and they were like really good. I mean, for that horsepower, it was good. It was the size was good, the grip I had was good. Maybe I could go now a little bit more down with the pressure, soften up the car, and then I would see like how far I could go to until I really have trouble to spin the tires.
Okay.
So I had the problem in PS days because if I throw in the third gear, the tires would not spin. So I'd like clutch kick, and not filling the zones. So I just stayed in second. Good smoke, good speed, all was good. Filling the zones pretty okay, but that was like the edge. If you put it in third, the car is not fast enough on this small track to put the third and get the wheel speed up, because I don't have the power to get it to spin.
But that's also a good question, because I can ask you probably. How important or how much does it affect when you can change the ratio of the differential?
Oh yeah, that's a
it's
good question.
Huge margin. Like if you're debating, let's say you already have 500 horsepower. If you're debating whether or not to get 100 horsepower more or a quick change, go for the quick change.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's
it's
crazy.
worth at least that much.
And how much do you normally switch it? Like on PS days we talked, you said
Oh,
I make it like
individually,
five
every
times
single
half
track.
slower.
Individually for every single track.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think we're now running around with 7 gear sets or something like that. And yeah, I have my nerdy Excel sheet with all the wheel speeds in every gear, and you start to get a sense for what kind of baseline do you probably need for this track,
Okay.
and that's what you put in, and then mostly you go maybe one up, one down, and then revert back to that one or choose one of the other 2 options. But it makes a huge difference, especially when we're talking about we're all driving turbo cars, yeah, inline 6 turbo cars.
Yeah.
Big single turbo, and yeah, makes a lot of difference.
Okay.
So what
For me especially, because we also run a 4-speed gearbox.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So my wheel speeds need to fit the track.
Yeah. But would you say that you really not need one more gear, right? I mean 4 gear, or
Oh,
would you say like?
Well, no, I would like to have a 5-speed,
Okay.
and there are some things in the works.
Okay.
Perhaps with the Quave gearbox. Heard very good things, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
What do you say? Because you have also been competing against the one E92 with the automatic gearbox. Because it's becoming like a thing.
I don't really want to comment on that, out of respect for everybody who's competing, because it's a big effort.
Yeah.
We all have to make sacrifices, but at the end of the day, I don't think it belongs to drifting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we have been speaking about it.
Yeah,
also,
we have
there's
been
like-
speaking about it because like I have very good connections for this HHP gearbox. Many of my partners like reinforce them, do like drag racing in them. So we spoke about like this TCU controller and run like as a cheaper option than like a Samsonas. Like a Samsonas is 12,000, 13,000.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the options, but yeah, an RS90, that's what runs you.
So is it because it's an automatic, or why you think it's don't belong to
Well,
drifting?
at the end of the day, what is drifting? I think
Yeah.
drifting is one of the rawest, purest motorsports we have right
Definitely.
now. It's a little bit like the old Group B, I guess. Any car, any engine, any power, driver has to do the talking, you know. And I think in that way, everything that can be manually operated by the driver should be manually operated by the driver, including the gear change.
So is it when you got a normal sequential, is it the same, or is it like okay?
Well, no, we basically, yeah, there's the option of flat foot shift, sure. I don't really know anyone who does it.
No.
Because it's also very hard to do in drifting,
Yeah.
especially if you don't have 2 spare gearboxes in the
Yeah,
trailer.
I know.
But yeah, we all clutch in, we all shift up like this, we all shift down like that. It's a difference to doing nothing or doing this and having a seamless shift.
Okay.
It's a much more raw experience, and it will fill your heart with joy doing it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So
it remembers me like because last year, when we were doing taxi drives exactly here,
yeah,
I was having one passenger, and he was like, because he was driving some circuit, and he was like, "Oh man, drifting is like really doing with both hands, with both feet, like all the time, just like
it's like magic.
It's like really working, like with because on the circuit, like with modern cars, you're just like."
So I also like these videos where you had the foot cam,
Yeah.
and out of nowhere there's like a third foot. You know what I mean? And
I saw
so
those videos,
that's like the magic. We do like a 3-foot work with 2.
Yeah.
And that's how, in my opinion, also the awesomeness.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. It's like the purest or most fun
it is.
driving a car like this.
I'm a bit worried they will
Oops.
gain,
Not into the Porsche.
they will gain more traction, because of course it's a super competitive option and it's getting more and more accessible, but I really hope the regulations mostly will stay that way, that you have to have manually operated gear shifts.
But
because to me it
yeah.
just belongs together with drifting.
So we had a little technical problem with the SD card.
First podcast ever.
First podcast ever, so we have like go with the flow.
Yes.
So where we stopped.
Costs.
Costs on the automatic gearbox is like best bang for the buck. I would say, like you get, I have calculated it with like 900 for the transmission. So it's out of a diesel car. You don't have to get it stronger in the controller, like the adapter for gearbox and the engine, it's like 5K.
Yeah.
And so you have
Half of it.
of like, if you go like a Samsonas.
But you must say like the Samsonas are, when you just like do the,
Oh,
and then the
man,
sounds
I
every time.
remember the time, so we didn't know Jan Erik on the Nürburgring Rift Cup. Our first time Nürburgring Rift Cup, Jan Erik was standing next to us and he's like, bang! And I'm like, what?
Yeah, best feeling in the world. It's like,
Oh,
bang!
man.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Oh. And we just looked at all, what the fuck we doing here, man?
Yeah.
And then you go up to the Schumacher S and it was like, yo, that's
So nice,
crazy.
Yeah.
That's also when you go like to your first competition, like Nürburgring Drift Cup, you get this long straight, like
And-
second, third, fourth, and you like, what the fuck I'm doing here?
Yeah.
So you do that like
On a good day, it's a 190 kph engine.
crazy. That's crazy.
But if we are speaking about long straights, I mean that here is also,
Yeah,
for like in the first corner,
the long straights here in
Yeah.
Meppen is awesome.
that's also awesome.
So I've nobody seen run this wall like Fredric did today.
Yeah, for sure,
Crazy.
100%.
Yeah, that's drifting is giving so much emotions on the positive and also on the negative sides. That's like the car broke down. Oh man, I'm down. But also like this, how often do we stand before each other and say, what we doing here? What the fuck we doing here?
At the end of the day, it's motorsport, and it's this close from hero to zero all the time, and from make or break.
Always
But
on the edge.
that's part of the charm, and maybe since we're already talking about it, we're all a bit special in the regard of doing this stuff. So what's gotten you into it? Just short and simple. What's your validation, your reasoning behind?
I can keep
yes,
it short.
I should do this.
I saw a YouTube video that like I was like 12 or so, like of a drifting car with like big smoke. And I couldn't believe it that's possible. And that was like, I have to do that.
I have to do.
At some point in my life, I have to do that.
For me, it was like basically I was really into like motorsports or coming into motorsports, but like tracks also was always expensive. And my dad was coming up to me and he was like, "Yeah, let's grab an old BMW, just like
Go drifting."
yeah, try it out." And then of course, yeah, like you try it out, you go sideways, it keeps you smiling, and then I was like, okay, I want to do it.
Yeah, cool.
But like all these emotions are so important for this. So when I first drive up the Schumacher S in fourth gear, I was shitting my pants, man. and I'm not gonna lie. That's but if you do it like
wild.
2, 3, 4 times, you're getting comfortable with it. You can play with it, like do this, handbrake, this, that.
Yeah.
And at the day you lie in your bed, you think about it, and I was there, and now I'm up there.
Yeah.
From a personal standpoint, and that's awesome.
Yeah, never get it out of your head.
Yeah.
And like
That's
keep
the way you
pushing it.
progress at the
Of
end
course.
of the day.
So
keep
that's
pushing it.
so we have this so much. Also, when you won the Nürburgring Rift Cup on your first try, that's unbelievable. Because for me personal, I don't care if you win or I win. For me, it's the same feeling.
Definitely.
And it was like when you go like win the top 16, win the top 8, win the top 4. He's in the finals.
I mean, that was
the
just
fuck?
like a day.
Because
But I have to say, yes, at the end of the day, I was like on the podium, but I think I had a huge, or like I was doing no mistakes and it was wet. Like I was so training a lot in the wet.
But
and it
also
was, like,
the
so
driver
playing
has to get the job done with the weather.
Yeah, absolutely. And oftentimes in drifting, it's the guy who makes the least mistakes winning.
Yeah.
And on that day,
Yeah,
you went
awesome.
perfect.
That was good day.
Awesome, man.
That day hooked me really up.
Yeah.
From there,
That-
there was no going back.
Yeah,
That
that-
was like, fuck, what did
And-
we do?
And when it happens so fast.
Yeah,
right?
you're going
If you
just
go
from
up-
one to the next battle.
Yeah,
It's just like happening,
and
you're
suddenly
like,
it's over.
Yeah.
And if you go out, then suddenly you have all the time in the world to be annoyed at dropping out and making the stupid mistake.
You
and,
just say like, how could I?
Yeah,
What was
exactly.
going wrong?
and when you're winning, suddenly, what? It's over? I want to have more fun,
I just
right?
like, wow,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
absolutely.
that will be definitely
So
some
I
point
think
for the future.
we can all agree that drifting is awesome.
Mhm.
We love
100%.
drifting.
Yeah.
And I hope you love drifting too. That
Absolutely.
was it for the first episode of the Hot Tire. Sorry,
Hot Tire.
of the Hot Tire. Hope to see you soon.
And,
Definitely check out what Meppen is gonna do with drifting in the future.
that will be cool.
Circuit Meppen, keep it on your map.
Und rein! Ich glaube, das war gut.
Das war gar nicht so schlecht.